Alrighty, we should be good to go. It's now being live streamed if you check out hashtag announcements or on the Facebook page. So no pressure. But yeah, feel free to send this out and kind of get some people watching it. Friends and family, you know how it is. All right, I'll hand it over to you. Logistics. Alrighty.
Perfect, thanks for that. We'll just get Brad to share his screen. Oh, wow.
Alex, take the background off.
Yeah. Classic virtual backgrounds. There we are. All right, sorry, we're having problems sharing the screen. I might share my screen for the slides and then we'll switch over for the presentation. Here we go. Perfect. So hi, we're Team Logistics and basically our idea has come from a problem that I've kind of experienced in the last couple of weeks in that my father runs a small business from my house, and it's a real estate business, and he's often comes up with great ideas, innovations, and they don't really they kind of get stunted. So he'll come up with ideas, and this is kind of the process of his innovation. They make it onto post-it notes, and then he might get a quote from a professional consultant. It is like way over budget, and the idea kind of fizzles out, which isn't ideal. And the ideal solution here would be to find someone to do the work. The options now to find people are to go to like Seek or Indeed. That's more for full-time professional work and is not exactly what is required. He can also put a task on Airtasker or Freelancer, but that's more for short-term contract work. And you don't really have any indication as to the quality that the work will be. So we've kind of realized that there's no effective way to pair innovative ideas with businesses and small businesses, with the students that are willing to take on this work and apply their skills and gain some experience. So this is how we've come up with You Need Work. So the idea of You Need Work is that it would be able to be the middleman and connect small business with fantastic idea with a uni student who wants to gain experience and yeah, has that opportunity now to put their skills to use and also make some money on the side. So the pitch to small business would be that they're able to find students that are skilled, so they're at uni, they know what they're doing, and you can actually form like an employer relationship with them in that they're not going to just be there for a minute and not understand your business or what you need and then kind of disappear. You can also be confident that they want to submit their best work. I think this is what we've found with uni students, that generally the incentive is to do the best work because it's experience, as opposed to just doing work for money. And it'll be cheaper labor. So obviously from the student's perspective, they would be getting fantastic money, but any professional services generally charge quite a bit for work like this or ad hoc work. So it would be cheap labor for the business, but a great pay for the student to do something that, I mean, a lot of internships people would technically do for free. The uni discourages this. So you would imagine that the government would be really happy to support an initiative like this because it would boost small business. They've actually got commissions set up. So there's a small business commissioner and the ATO newsroom, where they regularly send out newsletters and other communications to small business to boost any kind of small business initiatives. That's a major sector, especially now during COVID. Small businesses are really struggling, so the government's really pitching in to help assist. The pitch to the students would be that it's a job that they can gain experience from. There's kind of this sentiment that you can't get a job unless you've had experience, and you can't get an experience unless you've had a job. So this kind of tackles that. The uni would really encourage that as well. I know the uni has job boards that they try to encourage students to gain any kind of experience. And this would really kind of fall in place with that. The student would also be getting really flexible work. So generally, small business doesn't really care so much about structure, as long as they've got a very good relationship with the employer and they're confident that the work will be submitted, which is something that a trust that they build over time. And yeah, it would be really flexible. So this is, I guess, the new story of innovative ideas. When you've got an idea, you'd be able to use You Need Work and get a solution to the idea. So we've kind of, in terms of the problem statement, we've taken the economic problems due to COVID, which is a stunt of growth, which this would obviously solve, because businesses would be able to innovate. And I mean, now there's like a huge space for innovation, like the world's changing, will probably never be the same. So this is a really huge space. And then from a community perspective, you're offering students experience, you're offering them work in a time that it's actually really difficult to find work. A lot of the bigger companies just aren't hiring. And and giving them experience and some real world experience. So now we will go through the demo. I will stop sharing my screen, and I think Viraj will share his.
Yep.
Classic Zoom things.
Hey everyone, so I'll be taking you through a quick tour of You Need Work. So here I am as an employer browsing You Need Work. So I'm an employer at a small business, and I am putting up an ad for a job. So the job could be digital manager. The job headline says need help pronto. So, and a quick, and then we enter a job description which says need someone with computer experience. And we have this field where we can select criteria that our ideal candidate would have, and we can submit that. Now, from the student perspective, I am a student who is looking for work, and so I'll sign up with my email, password, the name of my uni, the degree that I'm doing, and the year that I completed. So once I've signed up, I have a portal where I can see available jobs, and I see now that the website manager is something that I'm interested in. So I'll click that, and I'll see the job title, a brief description, an overview of what the job is like. And on the right-hand side, we have a questionnaire that the employer has made for us to fill out. So we will fill that out. And drop in our resume here, and yes, there we have it. That would be how we submit.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, basically in summary, I don't know how we're going for time, but I'll just kind of sum up, is that, I mean, I obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I kind of know firsthand that there's a need for something like this. There isn't a way, so if I'm completely frank about this situation, the platform is not that crazy. We have no crazy algorithms that we've designed in the last 24 hours that will change the world. But where I see the innovation of this idea coming through is that there is no platform to connect people with skills and people that need those skills really efficiently for this purpose. So if you're a uni student now wanting experience, the only real place that you can go to is to get like a summer internship at a big company. And if you're a small business and you want to employ someone on a casual basis, it's pretty much not possible. So I guess like my solution before designing this last week was a post to Facebook to find someone, and there was, within a couple of hours, 30 people had responded. So it's pretty clear that the uni students are really keen to take on work like this. And I think like the innovation from this idea would be the way that it's marketed toward that requirement. So yeah,
So
thanks for
I'm just
listening.
gonna all good. I was gonna say sorry, quite over time. We actually forgot to time this first one, so we'll be doing more
Perfect.
timing after this one. Yeah, all good.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, so I'll actually pass over to one of the judges. So if anyone judge has any kind of like questions they want to ask, actually ask all the judges to turn on their videos and mics now, if that's okay.
I have a question.
Yep.
It's Rez here. Hi guys. Congratulations on getting to the finals. And that was a really good idea, actually, Alex. I think it has merit. And we are underutilizing our graduates or our university students. Just a couple of things, and I've made some notes, mind you. Have you thought of perhaps integrating that to Seek or LinkedIn or, you know, the other outlets like Glasshouse as well? Because companies like AMP, company I work for, we have graduate programs, and I would love to, you know, explore possibilities of university students. And I've had a small business myself, but you know, the marketing of this app that you're putting together, how quickly do you think, or would it be a good idea to link that into or integrate to Seek and LinkedIn? Only because, you know, employers already use those. What do you think of that?
Yeah, so I think the barrier for entry for something like Seek is probably like a psychological one, where a small business wouldn't really have the capacity to take on an employee, and a uni student won't really go to Seek to find kind of lightweight work like this. So I think there's probably a bit of a stigma involved with that. We spoke about maybe connecting this to LinkedIn so that people will be able to I guess, use or leverage networks that they already have and skills that they already have. But in terms of you, or just like adding this as a supplement to a bigger system, I think that, as I mentioned before, like the platform isn't that crazy, but the way that this will be presented to small business and students is very different to what's being done now. And also in terms of where you can get experience now, I guess like the process for someone to find an internship would be to, like if I wanted an internship, I'd go to the Accenture website and the Atlassian website and the AMP website. Whereas like small business just doesn't have that platform. And yeah, and one more thing to add on kind of the difference and what makes this different is in small business. There's probably a bit more of a focus on wanting someone that you can communicate really well with. So this isn't hiring someone you don't have a HR team hiring someone to join a big organization. This is a two-man team, and you want to find someone that is really compatible with your working style and has common interests and really wants your best interest. So I think that that's kind of where this is a bit different.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a question. Congratulations, team, for getting through the final rounds. This was a really good presentation. My question is, how is this different from other platforms like Upwork or freelance.com?
Yeah, so the biggest difference, as I just mentioned, is the marketing of it. So we're targeting uni students with the skills that probably are less inclined to go onto a service like that. And I think that's what we've found. And going on something, or going on freelancer.com, which we looked into, or Airtasker, you probably wouldn't find consistent work. So it would be more of ad hoc one-off tasks. In terms of having something to put in your resume or gain experience, it probably wouldn't be perfect. So rather than this being kind of random tasks, like a one-off like data entry task, this is somewhere where someone will have a bit of creativity, flexibility. They'll be able to communicate with the person, work with the person or the business owner, and come up with an idea.
Cool. I mean, but I think like Upwork does have like short-term and long-term projects as well. But coming to the next question, how do we plan to tackle the, the hindrance of like maybe say having no experience or less experience talker? Like if a company has given some task on like, hey, like the example that we gave here, like digital manager to manage maybe say for social media platforms or something like that. How do we convince the companies or the small businesses that we have enough skill sets and this will be delivered without having much prior experience?
Yeah, so I think the uni students are pretty capable. And there's definitely a sentiment that they're not.
Like just yeah. From
Yeah, no, I understand. And from, I mean, my father's perspective, like obviously he wants someone that he can trust to take over important processes. So I think where we would be looking more at him not having, or the small business owner not having the capacity to do the work. They know what good work is, they just don't know how to do it. So they would be able to manage that process, although they don't have the time to do it themselves. It might be something as simple as writing a blog. And I mean, lots of people can write a blog, and it's very easy to kind of do a check on that and be like, that's good work.
Thanks.
Question. That's it from my end.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna cut off there because we do have to keep going with other teams, otherwise we will run out of time. I love all the questions though. So the next team to present is going to be Team Yellow Bots. So if you guys could turn your videos on, your audio's on, and I'll ask the judges now to also turn your video and audio off.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks Team Logistics. Also, just a little update. I'll try and ring some sort of bell at like 30 seconds too. And if you go over by 20 seconds, I'll just kind of cut you off and ask you to finish up. So I think we should keep it try and a bit more formalized in terms of timing. All right, off you go, Yellow Bots. Feel free to share your screen.
Oh. Okay. Hey, I'm Brendan from the Yellow Blocks, representing my team members Winston, Tony, Austin, and Maria. So the COVID-19 pandemic has caused an immense economic hardship due to a reduction in consumer activity. We have chosen to first look at the economic perspective as it is the starting point of the inevitable issues that will arise, including community-based. Now, I want you to think about the last time that you made a donation. Perhaps it was from a door knocker or through a volunteer in public. Now, have you seen much of this during COVID? COVID has strained the charity system as they are struggling with falling donations, whilst having low volunteers and an increased demand for their services. And 88% of charities are now actually operating at a loss. Yet charities are a vital line of defense in protecting Australia against the impacts of COVID. First, through the charities that provide medical assistance. Second, through combating social issues like homelessness and poverty, which has been exacerbated as a result of the pandemic. Introducing Charity Fund, a way to help charities passively through cashback as you shop online normally. You keep a portion of the profits and charities get the rest automatically. The more you shop, the more you contribute to those in need during this pandemic, without an extra cent coming out of your own pocket. And this is the perfect time as online shopping has surged 80% since the last year due to the lockdown. Now, let's go through a demo.
Hi, let's see how you as a consumer can use Charity Fund. From our web app, simply browse for stores with eligible cashbacks we are partnered with and proceed to that store, but we must do this through our website. Let's say we go to ASOS and we want to buy some new clothes. We will use session cookies on your browser to keep track of your purchases, and then you'll receive a small percentage of the cash back. However, we differ from other cashback businesses here because it is our sole focus to serve charities, and we do this by requiring customers to donate a percentage of their cashback to any charities that they wish. Clicking on our profile, we can see our previous contributions made. We have a feature that enables you to select how much you decide to donate from the cashback you receive each time you shop. This is entirely up to you how much you choose. Our web app aims to increase the visibility of charities such as Red Cross by offering features to search for charities, learn about their mission, and to additionally donate more money. Red Cross is a charity currently shown under the Charity Spotlight section as shown. This feature is used to highlight new and different charities weekly, and consumers have chosen to donate towards. We do this to improve awareness of the 57,000 charities that we have in Australia. While our vision for Charity Fund is to support charities in this immediate crisis as they are financially struggling due to the pandemic, this does not have to stop once COVID-19 ends. Our web app can be integrated with this new e-commerce paradigm that we have shifted towards, so that as part of the online learning experience, we can make positive contributions to charities for the continuing future.
All right, thanks, Tony. So, so there is a clear and growing market ready to embrace Charity Fund. In 2019, there were 20.3 million online shoppers, spending a total of 28.6 billion. By 2021, this market is predicted to grow to 35.2 billion. And Australians are also no strangers to donating. It is estimated that 14.9 million people give to charities within 1 year. How about the social impact now, you might ask? Well, Charity Fund provides charities with a consistent source of revenue that provides them with the ability to recover their falling revenue in these hard COVID times. Charity Fund also provides awareness for struggling charities. It's a platform where consumers are made aware of the funding that charities require and the recent developments that they have made with this money. They're reminded and shown the impacts that charities have made to aid in the pandemic each time that they shop online. This has the potential to further emphasize and bring out the appreciation and importance of charities in society as a whole. It brings spotlight to charities that otherwise would have been hidden in the shadows, as you have just seen. This awareness is vital as charities have lost their ability to run their traditional fundraising events. And in turn, charities will be able to meet the demands of this pandemic and provide lasting impact to the greater community. And our business model is simple. We follow the likes of how companies such as Shopback and Cash Rewards have implemented their cashback scheme. Through the model of affiliate marketing, retailers will pay us commission to drive traffic to their website, which is passed on in part to our members who just sign up for free. But how do we differ to these companies even more? Well, we're a not-for-profit organization. So our main goal, as Tony has said, is just to help charities. And there's also a minimum percentage that must go to charities. We believe that businesses have much greater benefit to partnering with us than our competitors because of the positive brand image generating by involving themselves with charities. There are also tax-deductible benefits from the donations, and this would be providing more savings. So overall, Charity Fund is extremely beneficial for all parties involved, including our partnering businesses, charities, individuals, and the greater society. So the next time that you shop online, why not get a charity fund? Thank you.
Very nicely done, guys. I'll now ask the judges to turn on their videos and audio, and feel free to ask some questions.
Hey guys, I just have one question. You'll look very sweet there in that video together. I just have one question around, I think, defensibility, which is, I love the idea you're going with and everything you're wanting to do, but like what stops some of these other competitors that you've talked about from simply spending, $10,000, $20,000 of development time and just, making a charity cashback component of their own services?
Yeah, so other competitors you mentioned would be like companies such as Shopback and Cash Rewards. But these companies are more profit orientated. So they use this cashback scheme in order to have consumers use their website in order to generate a portion of their profit. But our focus is specifically for this COVID pandemic, because charities are lacking the financial funds that they need. And we want to raise awareness on this issue because everyone has often neglected how charities would be affected in this pandemic. And by using this platform, because of the surge in online shopping that we see nowadays due to this pandemic, it will bring greater visibility for these charities so we can donate towards.
Yeah, just wanted to add on to that. We're also purely not-for-profit. So as a general, I'm sure that consumers will be able to do the research and see that like even if like Shopback and Cash Rewards decides to do something like this, in terms of the public image, it's due to their profit-driven nature, there's more of a hidden agenda to the way that they'll operate with something else like this. And our one, we're truly not-for-profit, and our main interest is in the charities. And that's why like we have the charity spotlight. We have like community events that people can submit their charities. They can vote for the charities they want to be in the spotlight next, things like that. So as a whole, our whole entire app is focused around these charities. It's not just like an added component that maybe Cash Rewards or Shopback might decide to do. It's the charities is the first thing that they see when they go into the website. It's centered within our whole brand image. It's part of our whole identity. So yeah, so it'll be entirely different to how other cashback sites may decide to do it.
Also, can you stop sharing a screen so we can see you when you're talking instead of the screen?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So, question from me is, what would you say if I told you, for example, or if my statement was that right now during COVID, many people have lost their jobs, many people don't have any money to donate, people are not going to churches to donate, to give out money, that kind of thing, that your app might not do so well now as opposed to post-COVID or pre-COVID. What would you say to that?
So our app is currently focused on people who are doing online spending.
Yep.
So anyone online shopping would technically like be wanting to spend their money now. So we want to take away this portion of the consumers that are doing the online spending because they have the funds that they want to use to spend, and be able to use this to contribute to a good cause for charities.
Yeah, and just wanted to add as well, right now, since the last year, like online shopping has actually been surging 80%. Like people, there's definitely the issue with the economic issue with people not having as much income, but people are actually going online to shop for things that they can't go out to store now, and they can even do a lot of their essentials shopping online, which we could partner with as well potentially. So there's still a large component of purchases that people will still regardless have to make, and there will always be a lot of people online shopping. Like there's still a big market there, regardless of the growing unemployment rates that we can target and get some money to help charities.
Also, just to make everything clear, the main source of our revenue is actually coming from the affiliate companies, not from the consumers themselves. So it's not really a matter of like it's the choice of the consumer whether or not they are willing to donate extra money to our cause. But ultimately, the mainstream of revenue is coming from the affiliate companies that we are partnered with and promote, and are paying us to provide the cash back for both the consumer and charities as well.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys. I think that was great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job, guys. Okay, so thank you so much, Yellow Blocks / Yellow Bots. We'll leave it there for now. And give us some time. We'll get the judges to do some judging, and we'll get them to do the marking. So bear with us, and we'll announce the next team soon. Actually, I'll announce the next team soon, but don't start. The next team to present will be Level. So I know you had some technical difficulties with sharing a screen, so get that all sorted. We won't be starting for a little bit longer. All right, thanks, guys. We'll just give the judges a little bit more time, then we'll get started.
No worries, take your time.
Have any of the judges not filled in the marking form?
Sorry, I'm still completing mine.
Okay, no worries.
Is there a link to it?
You didn't have it before. Yes, I will send it. I think I sent it to you before, but I'll send it again.
Oh yeah, is it the same one which we had for the previous one?
I'll just send it to you.
Okay.
Okay, I think we'll just get started, and if those judges could please do those judging forms as soon as possible. I message it to you, so if you can't see it, feel free to send me a quick email or message, and I will get back to you. Otherwise, let's get on to team level with Connect. Take it away, guys.
All right, so maybe we'll just get started. So within the past few months, the world descended into a global pandemic. We have 77% of international workers and students actually had to return to their home country in preparation for long and hard months to come. This is followed by 2 weeks of self-isolation with no physical contact strictly required by over 40 countries. For many, this could be a really daunting and lonely experience.
So let me introduce you to Robin. Robin is a returning international worker who was excited to finally meet her friends. However, once she landed, she was not allowed to see her friends or family, or even anyone. Instead, she's admitted straight to a hotel for a 14-day self-quarantine. This is under strict surveillance with no human contacts. Being the extroverted person she is, she craves the sense of community and the need to connect with other people. Robin is just one out of the 900,000 people who stuck in self-isolation. Yet they're never connected to each other and felt as if they're always by themselves.
So we want to bring you connectivity in a fun and affordable way. Connect is a mobile application made specifically for people who need to go through a 14-day self-quarantine period. We connect people who are undergoing self-quarantine together. So here you can track your 14-day self-quarantine period as your pet grows, whilst talking and bonding with others going through the same situation. It's an app to meet the people in your community and to most importantly, communicate that you're not doing this alone.
So next I'll show you how our app works. Please let me know if you can't see this.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, cool. So this is the landing page of our Connect. This is the first page that you'll see once you download our app. So now I'll just put in my pet's name. Oops. Oh, my pictures. Okay, sorry. I'll call it Buddy. And some password. Let's say Robin loves a dog, so she'll pick a dog over here. Over here, Connect will generate a baby dog, which all have a health rating. So his happiness right now is health. There we can see the type of the dog, the birth date, and also the name. Over here, we can see the map, which has everyone who's in self-quarantining. We can also see how long they've been self-quarantined or in a hotel and the name of their pet. So now we want to take Buddy for a walk and meet new friends. We can take Buddy for a walk And once she meet the people, so there she's walking. Once she meet the people, we can either play a game or maybe chat as a group chat. Let's say it's a chat, then you'll see that it's chat SR. So that would be a chat. Otherwise, we can also play a game. And whenever your dog is socializing, which is actually you who is socializing and taking a walk, he'll be happy and grow even bigger. So over here, it's growing bigger. Let's play another game. And you won again. So it's evolving into a healthier and happier dog, which reflects your mental health and how your sense of community and Robin's sense of belonging has improved. So going back to Viv and Annabelle.
Yeah, so with Connect, Robin now has her pet and her new community of people who face the same isolation challenge to keep her away from loneliness. So Connect fosters an environment for a positive community to grow, and in turn, those who are isolated can bring each other up by sharing and celebrating the small wins each day in these difficult times.
So we predict that we'll be able to roll this out within the next 5 months, especially with the timing of the pandemic. It's extremely important that we're able to roll this out while the 14-day self-quarantine period is still being practiced. So we'll begin launch in like the metropolitan areas such as New South Wales, especially since they are still accepting people that still need to go through that 14-day self-quarantine period. So additionally, this also means that we can also kind of like monitor how large and also different communities kind of like engage with our app. And in terms of like business plans, we'll be releasing ads on Instagram because they have like significantly higher engagement, especially with like mobile applications. So we also did a really quick SWOT analysis and market research, and we actually found that Animal Crossing is our main competitor. So the platform proved to be extremely effective in kind of bonding people during quarantine. However, if Robin wanted to be involved, she would have to purchase a separate device worth $500 and then a game of an additional $100. But however, with Connect, Robin can use her own phone and get the app for free. So we offer a 14-day free period for our 14-day self-quarantine consumers. You can pay $1.99 as a one-time purchase, one-time in-app purchase to kind of retain your pet and your progress. So we expect that altogether, the expenses should cost around $67,000 for developers, artists, and also marketing material, as well as contingency funds, to kind of like, so to help us build it and also to work on other future features such as like putting in positivity messages from your pet and also like releasing like positive COVID-19 news, as well as providing a customizable option for their pets. Yeah, so that kind of wraps up for what Connect is.
All right, thanks so much, team Level. All right, looks beautiful. And now let's ask you to, yeah, as you did, stop sharing your screen and get the judges up. Amazing.
Yeah, hi, I'm Chris. So first off, I really like the designs of your pets. Did you guys design that yourselves, or did you get stock images?
We actually designed half of it, but some like bits and few that we take from online.
Nice. Yeah. So I just have one question. So if you had a little bit more time, what are the things would you change or add into this application?
Yeah, that's a really great question that we've been thinking of creating. So one of the things that this app does is the gaming part, which gives us the activities that we can do with different people. Definitely, if we have more time, we want to generate more games and more random games to keep on making people feel connected, and as well as team gamings.
Yeah, and also just to add on to that, we also mentioned that we want to release like positive messages, so you have your pet bring in positive messages and also provide like positive like COVID-19 news updates as well.
Have you guys thought of adding some sort of gamification elements onto this? So sort of like badges if you win games or achievements, or?
Oh, we actually thought of like a leadership board. Yeah, we haven't put much thoughts on that. We had like a very simple prototype to like work on that. Definitely can add out like badges, which is like can be an extension, and you can turn on or off the badges as much as you want. So currently we have like we have social life, sleep, and walk of the pet, which show up how much you take care of the pet, which is essentially taking care of yourself.
Okay. Hi, this is Damien. So Neopets recently announced they're releasing a mobile platform. They have 1.5 million subscribers or users. How do you think you can compete with such a strong competitor?
Yeah, they're quite a legend as well. So I'm pretty sure that we're targeting a different market. This app we targeted specifically for 14-day people who is in a hotel and feel lonely. This is mainly for social and the sense of community. Yeah, so it's a different target people. And we see that there is a huge market here, even though it's very specific. And from what we learned throughout this pandemic, people value sense of belonging and over for like community. And that's a thing that we want to bring up in this app.
Guys, very good concept, and yeah, I love the design. I know a lot of people love the pets as well, and the problem you've mentioned around the loneliness with quarantine, that's very valid. Can you tell me how would you measure the success of this app or the project? Like what will mean success to you or for the app?
Yeah, I guess because like we do have metrics to see how often people are using it to actually like socialize and like kind of build this community with other people who's also going through that self-quarantine period. So definitely in terms of like how often people are using that actual like connection feature, going out to like meet new people, taking your pets out on walks is going to be like our biggest success metric.
Thanks.
All right, wonderful. I think we'll leave it there for the questions, and yeah, we'll ask you guys to stop sharing screen, turn off your videos. Great job. We'll again give some time to the judges so they can fill in the judging form. But in the meantime, we'll get Team Git Happens, great name, to kind of start getting ready. I think Viv, you're still sharing a screen, just FYI.
Computer. Oh, sorry. How do I stop sharing? Wait, am I still sharing? Oh.
Oh, I think it might be a virtual background.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey guys, just give us a moment. Sorry.
All good. We'll actually wait for the judges to finish up their judging first. So you've got some time. All right, judging is finished, so feel free to get started. It happens.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, awesome. Okay, let's start. Hey guys, so I'm Steph.
I'm Alexander.
I'm Danvi.
And we're Git Happens, and this is our product Helping Hand.
So the recent COVID-19 pandemic has affected not only our own lives, but the lives of those around us in a wide variety of ways. This is especially true when it comes to the elderly population. With our product today, we would like to extend the notion of physical distancing, not social distancing. First off, I'd like to introduce you to a couple of individuals. First, let's meet Claire, an elderly, widowed female without a lot of technological experience who is having a bit of difficulty getting Netflix to work on her television. I'd also like you to meet Jonathan, a social worker whose volunteering capacity has decreased greatly during the pandemic, and he has excellent skills in technology. We would like to bring these two individuals together to bring aid and interaction within our community.
So the most vulnerable members of our community are currently struggling to adapt to the changes forced by the COVID-19 pandemic. So one of the biggest issues that they are facing is not being able to get the in-person connection and help that they need. So currently our target market is older generations and the disabled people. Currently 1 in 7 Australians are aged 65 and over. That's roughly 3 million people. And it's expected that by 2026, 3.7 million people will be living alone, and up to 24% of those living alone will be older generations. A survey has found that 1 in 5 older Australians feel lonely, and especially for those in aged care, disproportionately experience loneliness and isolation, with up to 40% never getting visitors. Furthermore, of the 4.4 million people with disabilities, 24% of them live alone.
Alongside the United Nations Secretary identifying the suffering and isolation older generations are experiencing and the need to embrace them through digital technology, the UN has released 4 key priorities for action for helping the elderly. These are to ensure healthcare decisions are guided by our commitment to their dignity, strengthening social inclusion and solidarity during physical distancing, fully integrating a focus on older people into our socioeconomic and humanitarian response to COVID-19, and expanding their participation in our community. Similarly, the Australian government has identified online some of the biggest concerns coming from the aged care community. They're asking questions like, how can I get help with my computer? Or I'm feeling lonely and isolated, what can I do at this current time? We would like to address all these issues identified by the different organisations and provide individualised support through a video call, allowing the elderly to not only get the desired support that they need, but also to interact with other members of the community. We have built from the ground up an easy to use interface for the elderly as we aim to provide personalised support and interaction between the elderly and the volunteers during this COVID-19 climate.
Okay, so I'll just give you a quick rundown of what we built. So this is the customer dashboard where customers are able to pick from a range of pre-made options for requests, or if they need to, they can make their own custom request. When they make a request, those will be sent to the volunteers who will have a dashboard like this, where they can see tasks that are available to be completed. Once they accept a task, our app will connect the two individuals through a video call. If they do a good job, the customer can give the volunteer a rating, which can increase the volunteer's level in a way to gamify the system and provide rewards for the volunteers. The volunteers will be able to register certain skills and they'll be matched up and shown tasks that match up with the skills that they have.
So our main competitor is Airtasker, which is a current task outsourcing platform. Now, how we distinguish ourselves from Airtasker, our competitor, is that we are offering face-to-face virtual interaction between volunteers and the elderly and disabled. This takes place through our companionship call feature and generally through our calling video feature for tasks. Furthermore, we're going to allow our customers the ability to call on the same volunteer to build rapport. Our simple UI, built from the ground up for the elderly, will be specifically built to suit the needs of the elderly and disabled. So that might be bigger fonts, larger graphics, simpler interfaces. And we're also providing volunteers the chance to provide meaningful help in this in this COVID-19 crisis.
Beyond our current prototype, there are a few future plans that we will look at implementing. One of them is volunteer rewards. So that's a notion of tipping where a customer, the elderly, is able to provide some monetary reward to their volunteers for particularly good work. And this can bring some incentive to the volunteers to come on our system. Also, for our company alone, we need a revenue stream just to keep the app running. So we'd like to introduce some different tiers. So a paid subscription where you're able to get more types of help. Maybe this is where they can input custom types of help that they might need, but also more requests on a particular day. Also, while right now we're looking at skilled volunteers who speak multiple languages for like a variety of different people in our community, we'd also like to support the app in more than one language because in Australia here we are such a multicultural country. Finally, we'd like to look into company partnerships where we'll use different companies that have different expertise and resources that will better support our clients in whatever they might need. Yeah, thank you very much.
Any questions?
Wonderful. So we'll get you to just stop sharing a screen and get the judges to come on. Thanks, guys.
Stop sharing the screen.
Hey guys, thank you for the presentation and taking care of our elderly population as well. With the volunteers, have you thought of the criteria, like can everyone could be a volunteer? What about the security as well?
So one of the things we'd like to go through before someone can just get onto the platform is a bit of a background check and a police check. So just to ensure people aren't like a reasonable and the right kind of people we want on the platform. Also having this whole feedback system where they're getting ratings, just to ensure as people continue to give help, they are doing what they are meant to be doing.
Thanks.
I've got a question for you guys. Congratulations, and I think that was a fabulous presentation. Is there what's your expectations with regards to the computer skills for the elderly?
We understand that the elderly don't always have the best computer skills. I can say alone, having a grandma who I often have to help from time to time. We've built this UI to be extremely simple to use. So if you go onto it on the customer side of it particularly, it's a single button after they sign up, put in all their details, and that can be someone else can help them with that. But to get particular help, you click a single button and you've sent your request. You will be contacted by our volunteer. You don't have to do anything else. When you want some help, you don't have to put in any additional details. It's all held in the system from when you originally signed up. Also, by making a web-based UI, we understand that not everyone has a smartphone, especially when it comes to the elderly. So that's why we've chosen web UI for this system.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What we really want to emphasize is that that what we're offering is a face-to-face video interaction. So instead of having a message-based system or getting advice from an AI or a person online, what we're offering is the ability for the elderly to speak to someone, and that's especially important during these times.
It's a lot easier for them as well.
Yeah.
So that's another computer skill that you have to teach, grandmas and granddads and how to use the camera on their phone or on their computer, laptop, or iPad.
Yeah, that's something that is very hard to tackle. But that's one of the things that we're especially keeping in mind, and we want to cater to that specifically. So we're trying our best to ensure that everyone has as much access to it as possible.
And a lot of existing systems that use video conferencing, they're more cumbersome. We're building this very much looking at the elderly to make every item that they have to select or anything like that really simple and straightforward. So there's no hidden menus, there's nothing like that. It's all laid out in front of them.
Hi, I just have a question, just in related to the topic of intuitive design. How did you validate that your design is intuitive? Did you get an old person to play around with the UI and do a think aloud method maybe?
We didn't really have the time to properly validate this, but yes, we would we would like to eventually go through like a think aloud or a user testing like process so that we can properly address all the issues that are in our interface and make it better. But like in the hackathon time, we didn't really have the time to do that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
At the same time, we did look at from our own experience, from our interactions with elderly and the technology they've been using, what they have found difficult, and tried to address those things, but we haven't taken our particular app to the clients.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks for that. We should probably leave it there with the question and answers. So thanks so much for asking, and thanks so much for answering those questions. All right. Again, we'll just give the judges some time, and in the meantime, let's get on to the next team to start setting up. We've got Team Jeannie and her wishes. So get that up there.
Muted.
Yeah. So
I'm just checking. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you.
So we'll just wait. Yeah, we can hear you too.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll just wait a little bit for the judges to complete their marking.
Nikki, what's the name of this group, this team?
This next team is called Jeannie and her wishes.
Okay, thank you.
Nice. Okay, judging seems to be done. So we'll get on to you guys. Take it away.
Awesome. So hello. So if you're anything like most people, the coronavirus pandemic has been an extremely confusing time. You've got information coming from a bunch of sources. Note here that this is just one source. This is my university email inbox. You've got sources from your friends, your Facebook feed, you've got the government, and you have a lot of information. So things like where you can go, where you can't go, where you can go, but if you haven't been to this other place, or where you can go, but like only with a certain number of people or a certain type of people. And it's just really confusing. But especially for young people, sometimes there's only just one question that we want answered, and that's, can we go outside? So what we've got here is a messenger bot that simplifies all the information into a digestible, friendly, youth-like lingo, a friendly source of information. So what you can do is you can just ask the bot and it will tell you what you need. So all you have to do is slide into the bot's DMs and ask them a few questions. And now I'm going to pass over to Ingrid, who's going to demo live what this bot can do. Sweet.
Hi,
Right,
everyone.
I'll stop sharing my screen.
And I'll start sharing mine. There we go. All right. Oh, is that? Where did the bot's gone? Hold on. Let me stop sharing for a sec. Let me just find the bot. It has disappeared. No. So usually to find the bot, it has a connected Facebook page, but because it's in developer mode, it's not live right now. So you have to search for it in Messenger. Yep. Yep. If you search for "can I go outside" just in the I've got it back now. Yep. Sorry about that. All right. So we're just gonna say hey. And we're just gonna wait for it to come back to us. So yeah, sometimes it takes a second. All right, so we've got a message back. So it's saying, do we want to go outside? First, I got to add, have you been outside of New South Wales in the last 2 weeks? And so actually, yes, I have. So I'm going to say yes. And it's going to ask, oh, which state have you come from? And I've actually recently come from Victoria. So I'm just going to let them know that I'm coming back from Victoria. Oh no, I have been outside of the state in the last 14 days. So it's letting me know that I need to self-isolate so we can stop the spread. So another example we could do, let's say we're Mark's actually a gym enthusiast. So we haven't been outside of the state because we've just been going to the gym. So no, where do I plan on going today? Because I'm just such a gym enthusiast. I'm going to go to the gym again. And it's going to let me know there's only 20 people in my class and we need to make sure I book before going in. All right, so what about I'm Emma. Oh, I'm going to say hi again. So each time it starts, we're just restarting a different conversation. No, I haven't been outside of New South Wales. And since it is a Saturday night, I would like to go to the nightclub. Oh, it's actually closed. So actually I'm going to have to change my plans because I can't go to the nightclub anymore. And finally, I have recently bought a dog. So I haven't been outside of New South Wales in the past 2 weeks, but I would really like to take my dog to the park. Oh, lucky for me, I can see more than 20 dogs at the park, but not more than 20 people. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, so our messenger bot has quite a few advantages. For individuals, it's super easy to use. So it's just like sending a text to one of your friends. So you just send a text to the messenger bot and it'll give you back some questions that you need to answer. Also, it's super personalized, super specific. So if you want to look for going to the park, you can literally search for, I want to go to the park, and it'll give you the specific information back instantly. So for the community, this helps because it's so easy to use and it's so easy for people to understand the restrictions, this will help the community staying safe, remind people to social distance, and can lead to resolving the recovery and moving towards recovery quicker and resolve faster.
Yep, that's right. Can we go to the next slide? For viability, yeah, because the really exciting thing about our product is that it has massive impact potential, but it is quite a simple app. It's just a Python Flask app, and it uses completely free Facebook APIs. So that means if we want to scale it and want it to reach all around the world and have build up a database that upgrades live, the only really thing that we need to pay for is for server hosting. So yeah, right now it's currently on Heroku, which is completely free. But as the user base increases, we can easily shift everything onto a larger cloud-based service. So as a result, the costs are actually quite low, and it would just be for server hosting. But to cover those costs, we have two options. So firstly, would be ideally we would partner with government, and it would become part of like the government coronavirus strategy. And in that way, this would be a major part of the efforts to stop coronavirus, stop the spread, and let us continue our lives as normal as soon as possible. However, if that doesn't pull through because of maybe bureaucracy reasons, we can always run targeted messenger ads within the app for things like personal protection products like hand sanitizer or face masks. And that would actually be super useful for people who are looking to go outside as well. I'll now pass on to Juliana, who will talk a little bit more about our future plan.
So I think we kind of got to cut you off there. We're out of time now. So maybe if you could do the timeline and maybe 15-second, 20-second rundown, we can finish off.
Okay.
Juliana, you go.
Yep. So with the testing, we would be looking at launching our product with our target audience and seeing what we could do to maybe tweak some features to best suit their needs. Marketing, we were also thinking social media would be the best avenue considering our target audience is young adults. Thanks so much for listening to our pitch. I hope you guys can see how Can I Go Outside can benefit our community during the crisis. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much, guys. Great job. Yeah, so let's get you to stop sharing a screen and we'll get the judges on. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll start off. So my question is basically, how are you guys addressing the issue of changing regulations? Things are changing quite quickly in Victoria, in New South Wales. How will that work with regards to maintenance down the line? Because regulations are changing every single day based on circumstances. Yep,
absolutely. That's something we really would prioritize with building in the future, because this information is actually available on all of this information is available on New South Wales government websites or government websites state by state. The only thing that is like very difficult to digest and find what you need. But what we can do is implement a web scraper that can periodically read the data in from those websites. So it would always have the most up-to-date information.
Right, great, thanks.
Guys, sorry, go ahead, Sobi.
Cool, thanks so much. Just a quick one. Good presentation, guys. Quick question. Is this just for our Facebook app, or is it also a web, WhatsApp, or anything else?
Yeah, so it's on right now it's being developed on Messenger because that is the primary, I guess the primary platform for young people in Australia, and we are focusing on Australia at the moment. Of course, Facebook has many like developer tools, and you're right, WhatsApp is a very big market. A lot of people around the world use it, and we could definitely build a bot for that as well.
Cool, thank you. So what do you?
Yeah, so this genie is going to take my job because I'm actually in some capacity working on some of the Australian sites and with the PMO office around the COVID stuff. But very good feedback. And one of the things which Alex mentioned is challenging is how would you manage the information and content? Because the challenge which we are facing is there's a lot of information, but what is the right information? What is the fake information? So you need to think about how you can keep that sync. So I'm going to take that feedback and maybe we can work on open sourcing some of the APIs, which from content from government sides you could be able to use. You did really well from the presentation, but the technology side is easy. when you talk about scaling up to other rest part of the businesses or overseas, yeah, think about how the content needs to be maintained and how you will tackle with it. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, so if we were to upscale, yeah, you're right. Like we definitely need to think about how we're going to get the right information from for all the like different, like say different countries or different like places. To do so, I think we would have to. I think it would be good to like partner with the governments, like we were saying before, if that's possible, to like always get the right information, always be up to date. So yeah.
Yeah, and with hosting that information, I believe the AWS servers have recently been like vetted by the Australian government. So we could definitely use that as like a secure base of information. And then that would be also what our like revenue would be funding would be to maintain those like databases.
Thanks.
Just one thing for me, that's a great concept. I actually love that. I'm part of the committee in AMP as the crisis management team responding to COVID-19, getting our teams to work from home, and now we're back. We're working on trying to get them back to the office in a staged format. But the one thing that kept popping in my mind is perhaps think about how this can be plugged into COVID Safe app, the one that's from the government, which is the government COVID application. Because as a company, that's what we ask our teams, our staff to use to register to make sure that we keep them safe and that we're able to track them if someone has been positive with COVID-19. I think it's a great concept. So congratulations to you guys. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. All right, we'll wrap it up for that team. Thanks so much, guys. The
Thank
next
you.
team to be presenting is Team Classroom. So start getting ready, share the screen, and we'll wait for the judges to complete the judging for Jeannie and her 3 wishes. Wonderful, thanks.
Let me just share my screen. All right, can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'll just chill here for a bit then.
Sorry, Nikki, I missed the name of this team again, please.
All good? Yeah, Team Classroom.
Okay. I can see that on the screen. Thank you very much.
All right, looks like we're good to go. Take it away, guys.
Perfect. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. We're a classroom and we're tackling the community problems brought upon by COVID-19 that has hit the global education system hard. Our mission is simple: to empower the future of education through our AR superpowers. Slide. Meet Chris Tyne, an enthusiastic and extroverted year 12 high school student who now has to sadly sit at home and learn at home due to a massive global pandemic plaguing the world. Being at home with his dog who can't get enough of him, Chris can't seem to concentrate on his studies, and his courses, which used to involve fun, practical work, are now no different to watching boring YouTube videos online. Next slide. Chris is not alone. In fact, we found that over 1 billion students around the world have been affected by the social impacts of COVID-19, being forced to limit their educational experience through stay-at-home video learning. This has hit especially hard for students that require a lot of practical and hands-on coursework in their studies, such as biology and physics students. Our research has shown that students without practical learning are 1.5 times more likely to fail than students with practical learning. Next slide. Introducing Classroom, a mobile application bringing augmented reality to the remote classroom. Using the app, teachers are able to use 3D models to transform the remote learning experience of their students, significantly improving student engagement and assisting with complex concepts that would otherwise be very difficult to explain without practical work and being in person. I'll pass it on to Selena to demonstrate Classroom in action.
Yep, let me just stop sharing.
So I need to share my screen. So tell me when you guys can see that.
All good, so.
Cool. So I'm going to be using my iPad to demo our app. So when we open up our app to the main page, it shows us a series of classes which organizes our AR models into these folders. After a lot of deliberation, we decided that scanning a QR code to open up a new AR model was the most user-friendly way. So we can slide left here and press scan in order to scan a QR code, so you can see, and then we're going to calibrate it. And so you can see there's like an AR model of Evie. And if you press on like the points of interest, it comes up with like information.
Oh, your screen is not sharing properly.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Okay. Go back to the QR scan.
Yeah. Oh, did you want me to scan it again?
Yeah, scan it again. We couldn't see it properly.
Oh, okay. I think I can't really like share two screens at one time, but hey, did you see that?
Okay, trust us that there was a QR code.
We can see it.
Yeah, an EV comes up and there's like points of interest and you can press on them and they'll show you like the different information about different parts of the different points of interest. So I can press on that and it'll tell you like fluffy tail and it will give you like a bit of information about that. And you can also add your own notes at the bottom here, as you can see, and you can slide between them as well. Cool. So if we go back to the main page and we click on like one of our classes, for example, chemistry, it gives us a list of all the different AR models that we have. And if you press on one of them, it'll also give you, like, for example, we have an AR model of a brain in this case, right? So for our QR code, we are trying to reinforce this, this like collaborative community by making sure that we can share the QR codes between students and so that they can collaborate on the same model. So in the future, we would also like to be able to scan images and then render a 3D model of it onto the screen as well. So you can see how this can drastically improve the education community as it increases engagement between students in an online setting. So yeah, that was our app, and I'll pass it back to Clarissa.
Yep. Cool. All right. So Christine's just going to go through our timeline and implementation. So if this is going to load, okay, here we go.
Yep. So going over our roadmap, we plan on fully deploying in 18 months. So this will be separated into 3 stages, starting with the first stage. We will be conducting market research to enable us to build and test a prototype. We then plan on marketing to our early adopters to collect feedback. So stage 2 and 3 consist of iterating through this process and eventually conducting a second marketing push just prior to our deployment in January 2022. So initially, we plan on launching our application to a small number of high schools. So starting with high schools is optimal for us because it allows us to design AR models for a set curriculum. So we'll be specifically focusing on stage 6 science curriculums before scaling to other faculties and tertiary education. So this plan allows us to assess the effectiveness of our application in a highly impacted focus group before widespread deployment.
Yeah, so in the interest of time, I'm going to have to go through this quite quickly, but I'm very happy to answer questions on this later. This is just an estimation of what we think our costs are going to look like. There's a breakdown of that on the screen. And in terms of scalability, we are using tools that we believe will make it very easy to scale our code base and for large spread usage. There's a lot of positive feedback in the AR/VR industry right now. So as you can see on the screen, the market is expected to reach $65 billion revenue by 2024. And there is existence of other AR sort of apps, like gaming apps like Pokemon Go, as well as some educational applications, but they only focus on very specific fields, such as there's one that's like, it's called Froggypedia, and it's just got like the anatomy of a frog. So the success of apps like that, I think, is a very good indication of how we're going to do in the education system, especially since the Department of Education in New South Wales has demonstrated an interest in AR before on a very small scale. These are just some challenges and mitigations that we think we will come across. And in terms of future features, there's, as Selena has mentioned, there's a number of things that we want to implement. So one thing is real-time group work collaboration. Another thing is being able to send your teachers questions on each anchor point. So not only writing notes, but being able to write questions so they can see which point students are really struggling with, as well as potentially scaling this into a VR product so you can interact with it in a much more, real life sort of scenario. And yeah, that's it.
All right, thanks so much, guys.
No worries.
Cool. We'll get the judges on, see what they think.
Go do it. Go to Department of Education, and I mean, University of New South Wales should. I don't know if you've pitched it yet, but this is a fabulous way of using the virtual reality technology, because even in the corporate world, we haven't been able to utilize its full potential, right? It's only been used largely in the gaming industry. But in the education sphere, this is a great concept. And it certainly is quite timely because everybody is, learning online. Universities right now has no intake from international students, right? And so they're heavy on building their online education. So this is a fantastic idea. My only question, I guess, you have a timeline of what, 2022?
Yeah,
it was 18 months. Yeah.
Months.
And do you have like I didn't see it much on your timeline. Do you
share my screen again?
Subject? Which area are you going to focus on first?
Okay, so the idea was, so although our larger scale deployment is going to happen in 2022, we will have a sort of like first sort of testing stage. And in that stage, what we're going to, I went back too far, sorry. Technology. In that stage, when the screen loads, I'm really sorry. In that stage, what we're going to do is we're going to target some high schools first, just because I think the good thing with high schools is that they do have a set curriculum. So when you develop something for them, you can roll it out to schools pretty much all over the state. And we're going to start first with the sciences curriculum, because I feel like in high school, that's probably the one that requires the most sort of practical learning. So subjects like biology, like physics, you can show them like a 3D battery and see how that operates. And we'll do that first, I guess, about halfway through this process before we can really develop this into something better. Because I feel like, especially with AR, you want to produce a product that is very it's top notch, very high quality, which is why we want to take this time to make sure that it's a good product that people will actually use.
Thank you. Well done, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've probably got time for one more question, so feel free.
I can go. And my question was as well, like, can we do it earlier than the timeline?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were also aware of the fact none of us actually have experience developing anything like AR or VR related. So I think we're also sort of wary of that. So we provided a bit of a longer buffer time just because, you don't want to promise something that you can't really put out. So judging by who we're working with, judging if we can get partnerships with the government in terms of developing the curriculum or some good private institutions, I think this timeline definitely can be sped up. But yeah, it's very dependent on.
Point to think is, and if you haven't thought about, would you like to become more like a technology provider or the actual content provider, including the course? Have you thought about that?
So we have discussed this as well. The original plan is, as we are grassroots, we'll be developing a few of the original templates ourselves. But obviously, as we scale up, I guess the beauty of a product like this is that the more things you develop, you sort of have templates. And we want to get to a stage where you can even drag and drop models together to build what you want. So in the future, I think one thing that we would want to do is, if we do have interest from these larger associations and organizations, they can upload their own poly models and we'll just be involved in the rendering of that into an AR model. But I think at least in the grassroots stage, it's kind of unreasonable of us to expect this of them, which is why we developed this first thing ourselves.
And we noticed this as well in our initial implementation with stuff like Poly, which provides an API for 3D models. So I think we foresee this to be more community driven and take advantage of the network effect as we scale up.
Exactly.
All right, thanks so much, Classroom.
Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you.
All right, great. Our next team to present is COVID Space. So we'll ask COVID Space to come up and to start kind of sharing the screen, get ready, and we'll wait a little bit to get judging from the judges.
Share screen.
Good to go.
Not yet. We'll probably give it a couple minutes just to let the judges fill out the marking criteria for the last team.
Easy.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Just waiting on one more judge to complete it, and then we'll go on to you guys.
Sounds good.
All right, looks like we're ready to go. Let's see, space.
Well, welcome. So my name is Charlie. I'm proud to introduce the COVID Space team. We have Tom Hill, Tom Sin, and behind the scenes we have Rowan and Tom Wright, who will hear a little bit from later on. So in the COVID pandemic, we found that we don't need to be, in the office for everything. We can operate a company remotely and in some cases even increase employee productivity through the new flexible options that online work offers. But Bloom of the Stanford Institute, once a champion of online work, now contends that not all is sunshine and lollipops, but instead, the world of online work will create a productivity disaster for firms. And why? Well, there are three main problems. One, it's difficult to exchange and challenge ideas, such as in sprint planning or client meetings. Two, it's onerous to mentor and train staff in an effective capacity. And three, for some, home can either be an unsafe, distracting, or lonely workplace. The problem? Too many people and not enough space. Handing over to Tom for an example.
So, I know everyone here has started a new venture at some point in their lives, whether it be a new school, new degree, or a new job. The prospect of change is daunting. Now imagine you're making this leap in an online setting. You cannot just turn around and ask a mentor a question, you cannot pair program, and you feel disconnected with the values and goals of the company that you tried so hard to work for. In addition to this, it's not just hard for new employees, but also, to quote a McKinsey article, managers cannot push the pause button on capability building. Businesses need to resume hiring interns, new staff, and rotating teams to drive innovation and jumpstart our economy. Our application, COVID Space, aims to follow the COVID-19 restrictions whilst allowing the people who would gain the most by being in the office to partially return. This is what we believe our application offers, maximizing human hours, minimizing office space. Now I'll pass on to Tom to demonstrate how we do this.
Hello, everyone. So I've got a very exciting Jira board here that me and my fellow collaborators have been using to work effectively as a team in this beautiful same house in lovely Surrey Hills. And so I've got a bunch of cards. We're doing product planning. We're doing moon travel. We're doing like projects and stuff. And so some of these tasks clearly are great individually online, but some of them are particularly useful having everyone in the room and everyone working together, such as initial product planning, as this card here on Jira so finally states. So our product, COVID Space, a little pun on COVID safe. Yeah. We've got our team here and we can see when they're in the office and when they're in the house on which particular day. And simply, all we do is we manage the task meetings, and tasks that don't require a meeting, we leave alone. But tasks that might require a meeting, for example, this one here, that we might want to do in person, we simply select do in person. We select the range and time by which that we might need to do it in. So I can do it anytime between this area, and it's a high priority. So I simply submit it, it's sent in. I head on home. Now, normally this application, we envision it every night, determining when you should be in and optimizing your presence in the office. But for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to allocate the meetings now, and we'll refresh the page. And we can see here that I've been allocated to 3 meetings, and I'm coming in on Monday to go yeet myself to the moon. That's right. I'm going to pass myself over to Rowan to further discuss our product.
Thank you, Tom. So first of all, I want to talk about how the use of our product is going to look over time. After the members have submitted their meeting requests for meetings about certain tickets, and the algorithm, as the requests are submitted, has worked out the most effective schedule to get the best productivity out of the collaboration spaces. The schedule for each day will be released the day before. The exact time is up to the company, but we believe that releasing it the day before is most effective for agile meetings and things. And then the workers can come in and have really effective collaboration time. Now, why should a company adopt a system like this now? So in the current climate, with restrictions easing and companies beginning to move back into office, it's really difficult to make policies that keep up to date with these rapidly changing restrictions. And our system really simplifies that, making sure that you're always under capacity, at most at capacity. And even when restrictions are completely gone, companies need to reduce costs. And reducing the space in which you're renting is one way to do that without cutting jobs. So what is our target market? We understand that some of you are really loving working from home, being able to wake up later, being able to take meetings without even wearing pants. However, we also understand that many others are in different situations. These include people in creative roles such as front-end development and graphic designers, people in outward-facing roles having meetings with clients, and people that are just simply less technologically proficient. My dad comes to mind. I'm now going to hand over to the third and final Tom to wrap up our presentation.
So we think it's really important this system can be used both inside and outside the COVID pandemic. But in the current situation, we think that two of our features really excel in protecting businesses. So firstly, our ability to limit, monitor and track people in a building. This allows flexibility for businesses as they adhere to changing government regulations. Secondly, the system is able to contact trace within a business. So a system admin is able to isolate a user and see for a set period of time who that individual may have come in contact with. So one of the reasons that this idea really excites us is that there is so much potential to take this idea further and expand the work we've done in the last 24 hours. So the first place we want to expand on is implement automated room allocation. So we can organize exactly where staff will go and meet in an office space, which further strengthens our ability to contact trace. Secondly, we want to be able to implement cross-company space sharing. So some companies have more space and some companies need less. So we would like to be able to use our system as a space sharing platform where different businesses can offer up their space as a source of income, and we handle the space utilization and social contact limiting. We would also like to improve our prioritization algorithms. So we've said that some people have a higher need to come into work, including, say, interns or people who do not have a safe environment to work at home. We want to accommodate this. And finally, we'd like to integrate our system further with other enterprise business services such as Microsoft Outlook, Teams, Trello, and Slack. So that is COVID Space and where we see it expanding on in the future. Thank you so much for your time and for listening to us. We would love to hear your questions and thoughts on our aim to maximize human hours and minimize office space.
Thank you.
Thanks, COVID Space. All right, well, let's get you to stop sharing screen and we'll get the judges on.
Question from me. So do you see yourselves working with both individual companies and property owners? So for example, you talked about being able to share spaces across different companies. When a company has too much space and another company doesn't have sufficient space. Do you see yourselves working at both the level of one company to maximize the individual space and across with property owners to maximize the use of space between two different companies?
Yeah, so this was an area of expansion that we were thinking about. And so we think that we could potentially do both. A lot of businesses these days are significantly downsizing and significantly reducing their actual footprint in the city. I know that there were a few law firms in like the US that completely have got rid of office spaces completely and are going fully remote. But often there's just some tasks that really isn't suitable for like creative work or for meeting with clients and stakeholders, where you really just need to get the point across to them and have a collaborative discussion. So yeah, a potential would certainly be working with landholders and working with other companies that have more space than they need and distributing that to other places that actually want the space.
Thanks. I love the team's enthusiasm.
Thank you.
So how is this different from the other co-working space that we have in the city? Say WeWork, and there are a few others, I guess. Fish burners.
Sorry, it was different from like manual organization of co-working spaces, or?
Like the other co-working spaces that we have in the city, like WeWork, and there's a few others like Fish burners.
So the co-working space was mainly an expansion point. The main crux of our product is that like when you do have your own office, often you've got too many workers and not enough space. And what our product aims really to do is to optimize who's coming into the office on what particular days. So for example, if I'm already meeting with Rowan on a particular day, I can schedule another meeting for another task, and the system will automatically say, oh, Tom's already coming into the office. It's worthwhile for Shorty to come and meet with Tom, and that way we're minimizing the amount of people coming to the office, but maximizing the amount of people really meeting. Yeah.
So yeah, we just want to maximize the number of tasks that are done and minimize the total number of people in an office at a time. So that's where our service really differentiates from, say, WeWork, is where they just provide the space. We provide the optimization to say, this is the best way to utilize your space and maintain social distance.
Got it. And the last question for me would be, how does the system decide who needs to meet whom and for what task?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll answer that one. So we already have a bunch of Jira tickets of any particular action or task that needs to be done. This Jira ticket has a list of people connected to it. So say you need to work with me in person within the next week. So you can find this Jira ticket on our system, as Tom demonstrated earlier, and say this should be an in-person ticket. So you mark it as such, and once it's in the system, then it will optimize, like looking at what other tasks are being done, who else needs to come into the office over the next X number of days, and choose the best day for you to go in.
I would also like to add that with in our expansion slide, we talked about quite briefly that we looked at prioritizing tasks, not just based on, you know, getting people who need to work together, but also, you know, you could optimize based on the type of task. So for certain projects and tickets, you can mark them as, you know, particularly creative in nature, so that they need, you know, good collaboration. Or you could mark certain staff members as perhaps being at a learning stage, which is particularly difficult to do online. Perhaps if the companies are looking to hire interns again and move back into that scope, then interns really benefit from being around people who they can, you know, watch over their shoulder, or have people watch over their shoulder and notice when they're really getting stuck. Because it can sometimes be kind of daunting to speak up over a Zoom call when you're getting behind everyone else.
All right, beautiful. Thanks so much, guys.
Awesome.
Thank
you
you
so much. Thank you.
All right, so amazing. Thanks so much, guys. So now we're on to our last team, team immunity. So we're going to give the judges some time to get ready and kind of mark the previous team. But if you guys want to get kind of like up and ready, I'll let you know when to get started. All right, thanks, guys. All right, we're ready to go. Let's finish it off strong. Take it away, Jimin.
Hi, can you guys hear us?
We can.
Cool. So our product/team name is called Immunity, which represents a community experience as well as the united fight against COVID. So due to COVID-19, there was a severe disruption in the society with a decreased ability to interact with the community as well as interaction with friends and family, which led to increased mental anxiety. Since the main issues are communal disconnection, decreased involvement, and social distancing, our goal was to provide a platform where we can virtually connect individuals based on their communal interests, where users can share, challenge, and celebrate, providing a personalized online community experience whilst encouraging social distancing measures. So Justin will go through the overview of the app.
Yeah, thank you, Barumi. So let's just say Zach, Sarah, and Dave just during COVID wanted to try challenge themselves and keep their minds away from mind numbing. So what is this limited social interaction or motivations happen to a community like this? We see that they're not really able to share that communal experience or group gratification when they're able to do it together. So what if I tell you there's an app on the market where you're able to really propagate that idea or interest and hobby to people that you're really personalized and structured towards? So let's just say you made a cake, fixed your garden, did some yoga, and let's say the app wraps up that secret challenge for others in the community, in the global and local community to really appreciate. So this is a really simple construction. Basically, from an idea, you're able to really personalize the context and instructions in a little gift box where they're not really able to see what the challenge is. So once they open the challenge, they have a set amount of time to really complete it. And once on completion, regardless of any bias, they're invited to a secret community to really celebrate and personalize that experience, which they really missed out on during that time when they're doing it alone. So just a quick concept. There's only two main components in this app. Basically, the challenge master, basically someone who is bored, created a cake. Let's say Sarah just baked a cake, a crazy cake that she really wants to share and show everyone, but on Facebook or social media, everyone just gets filtered through and kind of just brushes over it. And you're not really able to connect and build that relationship that you would get if you were to bring it over to another neighborhood or to a career fair. So our aim is to really just help you create free of your own challenges daily, and you're able to get followers and community members. So basically, in the context and instructions, the way you explain it is you're able to just show the context, your personal reason why you did it, and you're able to challenge others. And in terms of the challenger, they're able to daily open 10 gift boxes, but once they open it, they're not really allowed to go back. So that helps you value each choice that you make before you really go into it by filtering by genre. So now once you upload the attempt, you're able to really join into this society of people who had their own creations together, like crazy cakes or crazy Kit Kat honeycomb, and you're really able to basically keep in contact with these people through notifications and shares and likes of each other, even offering instructions or any tips for future references. I'll now pass on to Philton to go through the live demo.
Yep, okay. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, is everyone able to see my screen?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Right, so when users first start up our app, they're greeted by a personalized page containing a list of parcels, each with a label for rating and also a hashtag, which denotes the genre of the challenge within the parcel. Like Justin mentioned, the challenges are all created by users, and the rating itself is actually derived from feedback from users who have also completed the challenge. This also sort of filters out any challenges which haven't been done or are not as popular. So if you filter by rating, we're able to get the most sort of like appealing challenges at the very top. So for example, if we look at our first parcel, it is a baking challenge. And suppose we have a user who is a very adept baker and they followed the recipe perfectly. They're now given a chance to upload a photo of their creation. When they do, they're essentially given access to an online community of other users who have also completed the challenge. And they're able to access, view, like, and comment on other submissions that the users have submitted. And it sort of allows, like, heightens a sense of involvement for what they've done, and really helps ease up, like, the ability to connect with other people through your interests. Another thing we'd like to point out is the fact that when you open a gift, you can't open it again. So notice how on our bottom parcel is denoted, our hashtag is gardening, and the challenge is to plant 3 types of vegetables in your garden. And unfortunately, some people don't have gardens, so they're gonna have to recycle this gift. And what happens is the list is randomized, and that parcel, the exact same parcel, is gone now. And instead, the new parcel that has replaced it is renovation. And the whole idea behind sort of not allowing people to revisit challenges is so that they can really, it's like incentivizing them to value the challenge more, allowing for that sense of satisfaction and involvement from finishing the challenge to be really heightened. Yes, passing it over to Jamie now.
Okay, so as stated, COVID has 2 major problems. One obviously being the physical separation of individuals, but the other one being deeply emotional. The fact that because COVID separates people on such a huge emotional level, we need to somehow rectify this, and this is done by immunity. So as previously mentioned, our major factor is disconnection in society, where people are physically and emotionally disconnected from one another. So while through immunity, we can stimulate an online community by sharing the common experiences that bond each other as humans. And by doing so, it can greatly reduce the problems in our society associated with mental health, isolation, and loneliness. Furthermore, to follow on from this, our second major problem we tried to solve through immunity is decreased involvement and socializing. Because due to COVID, people no longer share stories, no longer share ideas, no longer share interests face to face. And then therefore, immunity serves as a platform to therefore bring these into the virtual space and share ideas and share their experiences, as well as share commonality within a community which they can definitely relate with. And that flows on to our final point, which is the social distancing aspect. Because lockdown causes numerous mental health issues due to factors like loneliness, isolation, and depression, many people have developed individualized hobbies which don't really relate with other people. And there's a really lack of connection on current social media sites. So by encouraging personal investment, so by creating a platform in which you can upload your own photos and only be accessed that community through your own involvement, through your own attempt. For example, if you want to access a community of baking cakes, you have to create your own cake. By having this factor of personal investment, it really facilitates the deeper connections that society so strongly needs right now during COVID. So that wraps up our immunity presentation regarding our application.
Thanks so much, guys. All right, so just like the other teams, stop sharing your screen and we'll get the judges on.
How do I stop sharing?
It's on the top button on the very top of the screen where the one? Yeah.
I've got a question, guys. And well done on your presentation. I think it's such a noble idea. How do you know when someone's they've accepted the challenge? How do you know they've completed it? Do they need to upload a photo or anything like that?
Yeah, so I think the main idea of our app is to get users, like unleash the online community, like in terms of the specific challenges and interests the users completed. And in order to get unlocked into that specific community, they need to upload their challenge in order to be able to see other people's challenges and get involved in that community.
Yep, and basically how it could be marked is the author of the post would obviously had interest in that, so they could be the one that moderates who opens it, and through them they could basically give more admin access to other people in the same community to kind of help build that rate.
So to fundamentally answer that, if you want to, for example, get access to a community, you must, as you mentioned, submit your own version, your own attempt through photos, through videos, or through a personal sharing experience to prove that you've kind of involved yourself in this process and to share common passions.
Great, thank you.
Is this a separate app then? Like I saw there was in the initial presentation, we showed some Instagram pictures. So how is this different from creating a Facebook group and sharing that than having a separate app like this?
Yeah. So basically, if you look at any other large social media apps like TikTok, Instagram, you see that they have a lot of flooded content in the way that like it's their time spent on each post is really just really grayed out. So in terms of our kind of approach to this is what we're trying to do. Gain more engagement, personalize that kind of void that we kind of missed out on during that COVID. Basically, we're not able to really connect on a personal level where we share our hobbies and share what we created ourselves. So in terms of this, we're able to really create that like sense of FOMO if we don't really do this challenge. And once we do it, we're more engaged and committed to like basically follow up with what other people did and get interest and build on from that together.
Yeah, and flow on from that. So as you've previously mentioned, like as an example, like Facebook, for example, in order to join a group of common interests, you must actively show initiative and a bit of courage as well to actively find out groups of your own, as well as if you want to connect with these people, you must individually message every single member or individually message the group regarding your interests. This platform really smoothens out the process by ensuring that everyone has a common interest right away, just by simply through attempting similar experiences that everyone else has. By having this common base, this common ground, everyone can discuss common concepts, right? So through this really makes the process from obviously having to approach people, finding communities on your own, as well as popping up, that really removes that process, basically streamlines it to ensure that sharing is a lot more personalized and a lot more a communal experience.
All right, wonderful. I think we'll leave the questions there, and that kind of wraps up the entire presentation aspect of today's event. So what I'm going to do is for all the judges, I'm actually going to ask you to join a different call. I will send it to you privately through Zoom chat. And this is actually different to one we were on before. For everyone else, just stay on this call. We might be away for maybe 15 minutes or so, and we'll come back and we'll do the final presentation for the award ceremony. So thank you so much for participating, and we'll see you very soon. For the judges, I'll send you those Zoom messages now. So take a look at the chat.
Name me to join the call.
Sorry, could you mute yourself? All right, welcome back. Just still got everyone on the call. Can people hear me? Yeah, awesome.
Yep, we can hear you, Nikki.
Great. All right, so there was plenty of discussion, lots of opinions, and I think everyone, like overall, was just incredibly impressed by all your amazing creations. Seriously, what you guys did in 24 hours is remarkable, and I'm so proud to have like even been here and seen this. So huge round of applause, everybody. Amazingly done. For all the teams, we're going to be sending out feedback. We're going to be sending out kind of like what the judges thought. So regardless of whether you win or not, you're going to learn from this experience. And I think hopefully you've already learned a lot just by doing it. So I'm astounded and amazed. So good job. Thank you everyone for participating. And thank you to all the judges for sitting through it on a Sunday and listening to this, but hopefully it was enjoyable for you too. All right, so the time has come. Let's announce the winners. So you know what you're fighting for. You know what you want it for. Let's do it. So the team that came third had a incredible and very applicable product. It was an issue that's been very widely kind of needed in the business kind of area. And the judges thought that this could really help businesses tackle many of the issues that they face on the day-to-day, even in their own companies. So the team that came third is COVID Space. Well done to COVID Space. Honestly, yeah, very big issue in business, and you guys tackled it very nicely. So well done. Also, very entertaining presentation. All right, now the second team. This team created something that was extremely innovative. They created something that could help people engage with many aspects of life in different ways. And some people learn in different ways. So this was an incredible way for people to kind of get involved and for people to learn in a new way. And this is Classroom. It is extremely innovative and helps so many different types of learners. And it helps children interact in the way that they want to interact with technology. So thank you to Team Classroom, amazingly done. And yeah, well done. Okay, and finally, the moment you've been waiting for, the team that came first had an extremely well-rounded product. They had thought out of a lot of the different implementations and is very complete. It also helped kind of combat mental health, and it helped combat people kind of getting out and enjoying themselves while still getting involved with the community. In a time where we're so disconnected, this really helped bring connectedness together. So the team that came first is KONNECT with Laval. Also mentioned for like great UI design. So well done on that. The UI and the design was absolutely incredible. So amazingly done to all the teams. Thank you so much for participating, and congratulations to our winners. We'll reach out to you guys in the near future to kind of go through prizes, and also you should hear back from us, all the teams, in terms of feedback. Thank you so much. And really thanks so much for getting involved. Hope you had a fun time and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nikki.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.